fate decided.
Let's get this party started.
Craven something scary.
Hello, Sydney.
KillJoy Jake.
Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me! I am your mother!
Nightwatch Zone.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Get up!
The collective has spoken. Yo. What's up? It's the collective. Q&A Mondays.
This is Q&A Monday.
How's it going, Jake?
It's going real good, Knight. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing really, really well. And if you can't tell, I'm super excited to do this stream right now.
Yeah, calm down, man. Jeez.
I know. I've got to hold back. I don't want people to get too worried. Okay.
What is up? Welcome.
Yeah, baby. What's going on? And hey, hello to everyone in the live chat. And we also have someone else popping in. The door has been knocked on. What's up to Steven?
Hey, guys. I had to come pop in for a little bit. I mean, I missed you guys on Friday, and I said, I gotta pop in at least for a little while today.
Yeah, baby.
We miss you too.
Absolutely,
I miss you guys, man.
Man. Absolutely. So for all of you guys in the live chat, welcome. We're here to answer any questions you may have. So throw them at us and we will try to answer as many as we can. We may not get to them all, but we will try our darndest. And let's kind of say hello to a few folks here. I see a whole bunch of people. We got Tori's in the chat. What's up? Cody, what's going on? And Jen,
what's up, guys?
What's up, Jen? Jake's gonna keep waving his hands.
I'm committed.
I love it.
Wow. Okay, we got Russell. What's going on, Russell? We've got Lisa.
Slow down, Knight.
We got Kyle. What's up, Kyle? Jake. Oh man. Oh my God. And what's up to Blucka? Good to see you.
What's up, Blucka?
Yeah, man. What's up? And wow. Oh, we're starting off quick here. It looks as though we have a $5 super chat coming in hot.
All right.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Gary.
Gary.
Thank you so much. Saying I was digging the ASMR. Thanks, Gary. Also, much love to our boy Craven. So glad you're getting the rest. We love you. Also, Fate is absent.
Yeah, he's tardy. We're gonna.
Oh, dang.
He's tardy.
That's awesome.
God, what is going on today? But Carrie, thank you so much. We really appreciate you and all the support. It really makes a difference. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Now as I'm gonna continue to kind of say hello here and there, but anything that you guys wanted to start off with, I mean, we are literally right around the corner from Scream 6. The excitement is like hot. You know, I mean, and I'm sure, and we talked a little bit about this. I'm sure we'll talk more about it. I'm sure we're going to be doing some big predictions coming up very soon about this movie. But what do you think, Jake?
Well, you know, we got a big old weekend event this past weekend. That's when weekend things usually happen. I wanted to bring this up, and Craven, I'm so glad you're here too, because it is Stu related, and it's kind of a positive thing relating to Stu. So I think that you might be interested in this. There was a picture released from that event. Mind you, this is just a prop, but it was the CRT television that supposedly killed Mr. Stu back in 1996. But big thing that was missing from this prop was there was no blood on the glass, just a broken TV.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up with that?
Exactly. You know, it may have something to do with those two hands that were held up to brace impact. I'm just telling you guys.
Yeah.
I thought that would make you feel better.
That makes me feel better.
That's
Thank you
right.
so much, man. You know, I'm actually. It's the funny thing is, I started seeing those pictures. People started sending me those pictures.
Hmm.
I guess on when was that? Yesterday or the day before?
I
Right?
think it was it was
Friday?
yesterday. I think. Well, it might have been the day before.
It could have been the day before.
Yeah.
But and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna get a video done from while I'm in here.
Mhm.
Well, I've recorded my intro, and it's Monday. So I've got an intro recorded, and
Progress.
it's progress, man. So stay tuned, bro. I'm like the little engine that could. I'm gonna get that video out sometime, maybe tonight. Who knows? But
That's right.
but it's gonna happen. I don't care how long it's past due. It's gonna come out.
There you go.
But that TV does not have blood. You're very right, Jake. And I don't
Mhm.
remember seeing a nameplate on the thing like they're doing
Right.
for the victims and stuff. So
Mhm.
very interesting. Yes.
Yeah. And it didn't look like there were cracks in it.
Oh.
It didn't
I'm
look like
behind
there.
this thing. Oh, sorry. I got tabbed out. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay.
I lagged out. I know all I was going to say was I didn't see a nameplate on that TV either, which makes me think, she may be saying, hey, look, man, I'm behind this whole thing. I'm still alive. I'll give him the TV, but I'm not giving him anything else. So, we'll
You're
see.
right. But it was weird too. Like there were cracks in it, but I didn't see any holes.
Mhm.
So it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
Makes
right,
you
man.
wonder.
Kind of interesting.
It is.
Edring is in the chat. Do you guys need some alone time?
Me and
I
Night
think-
always need some alone time.
That was a funny way to start it off. If we could have kept going, that would have been something. Denisha's in the chat, coming in with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Denisha, so much.
Hey.
We really appreciate it. Saying, hey, Craven, get back here, buddy. Much love.
Oh, thank you so much,
right.
Tanisha. I'm sorry I'm not on camera, but trust me, I'm doing you guys a favor. So I'm here on audio only, but I'm still here. At least I can
Yeah.
contribute and
We're
be a
happy
part
you're
of it.
here.
Well,
Yeah, we're
thanks,
happy
man.
you're here.
Appreciate
there's
it.
Sometimes you got to be off camera. I mean,
Yeah.
we all do it every once in a while during most streams, anyways. We'll just put,
True.
live streaming is crazy, man. Because when you live stream, and we talked a little bit about this before, but you still got things going on in life. You might have to eat or drink
Right.
or cough, or someone comes into the area you're streaming
Exactly.
from. So yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah, I've told my people here, and as you guys know, the hospital environment is very it's not conducive for privacy. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
And so I've let everybody know, but at any moment that door could come swinging open, and I have to go on mute. So
Mhm.
you guys know the situation. We'll work around it, but
Yeah, absolutely.
hopefully it'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Cody is got a question saying, if Jake and Knight were in a Scream movie, would y'all want to be the killers or the survivors or be killed off? Oh man,
We could be
Wow.
a good ghost face duo.
we could. We
Oh,
could.
man, you
It would
could.
be the funniest scream of all time. It'd be the funniest scream and plus the coolest scream of all time.
Yes.
There you go.
You would make it cool though. not me.
I was gonna say, imagine Knight in a Ghostface costume with the moves he's got to fight. Oh my gosh, dude!
I know, man. People would be thinking it's like Kung Fu Scream. What's going on? This isn't the Scream that Wes started. Come on. I'd love to. I'll tell you what, though. I'd love to have those Roger Jackson type of conversations, though. Those are always so
Ooh.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
like, and Steven, because we've been going through the Scream movies with Scream Fest, and it's like,
Yeah,
as
man.
many times as I've seen these movies, like every time there's that conversation and Roger's doing the voice, it always stops me in my tracks,
Mhm.
and I just pay complete attention because it's just
Yeah.
he's just so captivating. And obviously, it's not just the dialogue; it's him. It's the
Mhm.
energy, the malice, the terror, the evil that he puts into, the
Yeah.
conversations. It's great.
Oh, he is a character all in of himself, man.
Yeah.
And you're right. You are drawn into his commentary. Everything in the phone,
Hmm.
it's menacing.
Yes,
It's it's terrifying, honestly,
it
many
is.
times. And
Hmm.
I've often thought to myself, how horrifying is it to have a phone call from him? That would
Mm-hmm.
be how terrifying that would be. Woo.
Yeah.
And I love how you always know what's coming, but it's always a surprise. Like, does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
sometimes, like in 5, for instance, he's talking, he's like, hello, is this the right number? And he's kind of doing the voice, but not yet.
Right.
But then when he goes full throttle ghost face, it's just like it hits, man. It hits every
Yeah.
time. It's
Yeah,
really
it
well done.
does.
It does,
Yeah.
man. Speaking of Roger, man, I don't think we've necessarily talked about it. At least I haven't said anything about it. But man, I cannot wait to see the phone call with Gail. Like, is that crazy or what? I mean, like just
Dude.
hearing those words, "Hello, Gail," and it's like, wow. It's like I don't know. It just gets me goosebumps, man.
Dude, I'm excited for that whole scene. I don't know if you saw that new shot that we got of Gail, and she's like on the ground now in that
Yes.
same thing, and she's like holding like trying to get the knife out of her face. Oh my God, that's gonna be
Yes.
vicious, man.
Yes. Oh man, I'm on pins and needles with Gail in general, and I'm just like, please, I suppose in a way that's the thing about when you have these characters that have been around for a long time, like we've talked about before, how the disadvantages, how long can they continually survive these situations. But the thing of it is when you get attached to a character, you genuinely love a character. That's what amps up a scene like that so much more, because you're like, is this it? Is this the time? And yeah, man, it's gonna be a great scene.
Dude, I'm terrified to think that's an outcome. Like, that's totally an outcome. Like if we're watching like Scream 4 or something, we're like, they're probably safe, whatever. But
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Now I don't know. They did Dewey dirty in that last movie. I don't know what they're gonna do to poor Gail here.
right. Oh my God, so true. Let's see. Let me jump to the chat a little bit more. Carrie was digging the ASMR. I tell you, it's too funny, man.
Yeah.
That was good, man. Oh my God, you're really good at that. Seriously,
I need an ASMR channel now. That's what I'm
probably.
hearing.
Oh my God. Dark Ninja saying hashtag Stu lives, hashtag these days you gotta have a sequel. All right. I love that.
Maybe.
Do you think, well, I was just going to say, so we talked about the TV. So do you think, has that changed your perception of either what may happen with Stu in 6 or beyond? Has that, has that moved the needle at all one way or the other?
You already know my stance on how I feel
Yes.
about it, but that's not to say I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, I do think it's very much so a possibility because of how much fans really want it to happen. I'm personally just against it, but is it likely? I don't know. I'm not, I'm like 60-40 on it. Like, I think 60% no, but 40% yes. I'm not like, oh, no way. They're not gonna bring Stu back. No, I'm really not, like, I'm not there yet. I gotta see this movie though, because I don't think, like, if they're gonna do something like that, it's not gonna be this movie. I think it would be. I agree with Craven where if they are going to do it, it's going to be the next movie. But I'm 60-40 because, like, the fan service thing, yeah, that brings people to movies, and if there's hints that, oh, Matthew Lillard's back or something, I oddly can see it happening, but
right,
I don't want it to.
right. I hear you. No, I hear you, man. I think that all I can say is if it does happen after 6, which we've speculated, the possibility of it, I think number one, it's going to be such an interesting conversation, for that particular movie, but even more so to look back, on 5 and 6 and kind of just see these breadcrumbs that have been thrown out and just ponder, was this the plan all along? You know what I mean? and I think those will be interesting conversations.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that I also said in my like I can't remember when I did this, but I made another like a follow-up Stu video or whatever, and I was talking about I would love to see Matthew Lillard in his, playing young Stu again in like a VHS tape. Like I'd be so down for that. I would be I am 100% on the Stu train for that. VHS Stu, yeah, dude, I'm down. I want to see Stu in his prime, dude. I want to see Stu being goofy and messing with Billy and all that. That's what I want to see more of, and I think that's what everyone wants to see more of. I don't think that's what we get if we see Stu 30 years later and he's like, I've been hiding in my mother's basement for all this time. He has an English accent now too. Don't worry about it.
I know, right?
Yeah, that's just isolation just does that to him. I don't know.
He became a proper chap.
Oh man. Oh man, I'll tell you what, man. Even however Stu comes back, man, if they do it, it's a big if, but I really hope they do. And if they do it in 7 and really make him the mastermind of all this stuff, Matthew Lillard is going to still be Stu. Now there will be some changes, sure. There's going to be some, you bet, to your point, Jake, for sure. But I still believe he loves Stu. I mean, this guy is awesome, man. He loves Stu, the character Stu Macher, and I think that he will. I think him and and Guy Busick, who I know if he comes back, it's going to be because of Guy Busick more than James Vanderbilt.
Right.
And I think Guy knows what the fans want, and Matthew knows what we want, and so I think that they will definitely tweak him, of course. But I think they're also not. They're going to make sure he has that central Stuism, right? How you like that? That's central
I really
Stuism.
like that. I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah, I think that remains. I really do. I think that remains, and they'll tweak the outer Stu-isms, but that inner central core is going to be there. That we all recognize them, and. If they do that, guys, come on, man. How amazing would it be to sit there in a theater watching Matthew Lillard on screen as Stu Macher again, bringing it, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, it would be amazing.
Real quick, because I'm just curious. So, like, what do you think about like a VHS? Like, what if they find a VHS tape and it has like some kind of information that's going to help them with whoever the killer is in 7, and it's Stu and Billy and Randy or something, and it's all of them. Randy's back too. Jamie Kennedy playing the character again. What, like, my thing about that, why I think that would work so well is you could de-age the characters, have the same actors play all of them, but also put a VHS filter on it as well. So you can't really even tell that it's if it's bad or good, whatever. To me, I'm like, that is not only is that like the safest way to bring back Stu, I think, but it also, you could like, there's no question about it. Like Stu could be exactly the same as how he was in the original film, and you wouldn't have to change anything. So I don't know. How do you feel? I'm just curious how you feel about that. What your take on it is.
Well, I mean, I think that it would be really, really cool. It would be fairly creative. I mean, obviously we saw Randy, when he had his return to form in the video.
It's the Randy thing. Yeah,
it's the Randy thing. But it would be really, really fun, and I think it'd be something that people, I mean, any way that Stu comes back, it would be something that people would, people have wanted. A lot of people have wanted, but it's almost like, wow, they really did it. I would enjoy it. I really would, and especially, just like in the video store scene with the 3 of them together. I mean, that would be hilarious.
It would be another one of those, basically. You know what I mean?
That was such a great scene, man. Oh my God. Just thinking about it puts a smile on my face, which, is obviously the indicator of how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Everybody's a suspect. Like, it's
everybody's a suspect.
It's so good, man. I love all their chemistry too in that scene. I especially love Randy and Stu's chemistry, which we don't get to see too much of, except for that scene.
Yeah. They played off of each other so well, and I love it when Matthew's like, what about her pops, man? Why can't they find her pops? Just back and forth, and it's funny. Neve Campbell, she had there was this one. Obviously, she's done tons tons, but there was this one interview where she specifically, called out, Jamie and Matthew and David for not only their energy, but also their comedic timing and just how much fun they were to do this movie with. And it really made me sit back and think about that. Like, it, but I was, actively thinking about it. It's like, dude, these were some funny ass, and they still are funny ass guys, and so talented
yeah.
on this set within these characters. And it's just awesome, man. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Stu come back that way,
I mean, at the end of the day, I'll obviously take him any way I can get him at this point. But sure, I would still enjoy that. I would, to see him back there and doing this thing as a young Stu, as a 17-year-old Stu Walker again. That would totally be cool. But you guys know where I stand on him as far as him being alive, and that I'm fine with him being a 48-year-old Stu as well. 50-year-old Stu or whatever. But yeah, I just want them. I just hope they do it. I hope they do it. I know that there's obviously, we don't know for sure. We won't know for sure until it's all said and done through 7. But I always say this: if we don't get him in this one, there's always a chance we get him in 8 with the new trilogy starts. Who knows who does the next writing and new directing. So,
Right.
But in the meantime, I will say this: without seeing the movie, obviously it's less than 2 weeks away. We, as based on the trailers, guys, we at least can say groundwork has been laid. At the very least, there's definitely groundwork laid down here by James and Guy in the writing of this story with the shrine and the aged mask. And I don't know if you noticed this, but there's our good friend Eric over at the Bearded Entertainment. You guys may have seen this also. There's another mask he identified. Did you see that? It's also an aged mask.
Yeah, a variation of it.
It's a variation of it. It's not the one we see on the trailer. And now whether that's a I don't know what it is, right? I don't know what it is, but if that ends up being in the movie, then that's another older person allegedly, that could be wearing that. I don't know. I mean, that's just interesting. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. I hadn't dug into it much, but either way you look at it, guys, I'm excited for the potential, right? At least that's going to happen. And if we don't, I don't think we'll get Stu in 6 anyway. So it's not going to really affect me if he's not in it. But I do hope we see something that points to Mocker, either family members, either clues. You know what I mean? I would love to see something pointing to 7, that if there is a cliffhanger, guys,
Right.
that it could be pointing to Mocker's return in 7.
Well, let me ask you guys this too, and this is one thing that's interesting to me. Because obviously we had the little nod in 5, obviously the quick little moment, and it panned out pretty good for Kirby. So if in 6 there's another moment like that, some type of nod or wink or whatever, do you think that strengthens the case for his return in 7?
Because here's my thing. Everyone's using the Easter egg in 5 as leverage towards that. I would argue that's that's the worst case scenario for Stu fans. I would argue that being in there, it implies that it's public knowledge that he's dead. Too. I pointed that out recently, and people were like, "No, it's not true." And I'm like, "But why would they make that video? Think about what making a YouTube video is conceptually. You want to get clicks, you want people to check it out. If it's known that this infamous serial killer is dead, and you say, well, what if he's alive? That's clickbait. People are going to click on that. I don't know. I just don't see a way. I don't see a way around that personally. So if they do something here in 6 that isn't like that, it isn't like a backhanded kind of thing. Okay, that's I even think the existence of the TV in general is sort of that in a way with the no blood. I mean, that's arguable still, but in a way it sort of is that. If we do something like that, okay, maybe, but I kind of agree with I don't know. I as Craven said earlier, they're like, what if we do an 8 with like a new storyline? I'm fine with Stu. Like, honestly, I am fine with Stu coming back. I just don't think that this is the story for it. Like, I think if let's do Radio Silence's trilogy and do another movie that's Sydney focused later on, that where Stu comes back. Stu's going after Sydney. That's what if Stu comes back, that's what I would want to see. I think that's conceptually is going to be the best way to bring the character back. He's coming after Sydney again. He's the mastermind of 3 killers or something. Let's do that. Let's do that after Radio Silence does their weird dark trilogy that they're finishing up here.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Steve,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what do you think, Steven?
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, like I said, and I've said this many times, whether he returns in this trilogy or not has no bearing in my mind whether he's still alive. Like they're two separate things.
I agree with that.
Yeah, they're two separate things. So, people are like, "Well, if he doesn't come back now, then what are you going to do?" I'm like, "Well, nothing. This doesn't change whether I think he's alive. It's just when he comes back." So, yeah, I would be okay with that too, Jake. Honestly, I would. But I do think that they're subtle, and I know they're subtle. I'm not claiming they're overwhelming or anything, but there are what I call breadcrumbs. They're little breadcrumbs, and I think that are there in 5. I've outlined them in a couple of videos and about what I think they are, and yeah, I mean it may be a reach to some. I consider a reach, but I think they're there subtly, and I feel like 6 is going to be the key because, like Knight, what you said, if we see something alluding more in 6 to him again, I'm almost like, why would they put it in there?
Right.
If there's not something coming, because it's like, we had the thing with Kirby. We're getting Kirby in 5 in the next one. They had the little thing, is the real life Stu Macher alive, or did the real life Stu Macher survive? Is what the headline was. Excuse me. Now, but there's more things than that. Like, his his name was mentioned more in that sequel than any other sequels in the franchise. They made a point to make sure the audience that watched the movie knew who he was, even to the point where Liv was like, "Who's Stu Macher again?" And he's like, and then they, Dewey explained he's Billy's accomplice, a real Looney Tune. So they made a point to really comment on who he was for some reason. They didn't have to do that.
Right.
That wasn't necessary. So, and the fact that Vince Macher's there's again unnecessary. Doesn't matter to the plot, really.
Right.
So why did they do it? I think so. I view those personally, guys, as breadcrumbs that are pointing to future things, and it's to get the audience aware of this character again. So I could be totally wrong though. Like Jake, like you said, dude, you may have nailed it, bro. This could be, I may be 100% wrong, and it's a whole different trilogy. And again, I'll say it like this: I'll be fine. I'll be disappointed a little bit because I think they missed an opportunity, but I won't judge the movie based on that alone. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. So, anyway, but my thought is that again, it doesn't affect whether he's alive or not. I keep those two things very separate, and I just think about how amazing it will be when he shows up eventually, and I hope it is 7. 6, I don't think it is. And people keep thinking that he's wearing the mask. I'm like, no, don't get yourself excited, guys. I'm telling you right now, I do not think he's in this movie, and I don't think that he's wearing that aged mask. I think that has to do with Billy. This is more about Billy than Stu.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
It is.
Yeah, that's really what I think about it. So I think this is Billy's movie, if anybody's, and from the past.
So you saw the pictures from this weekend with Billy's like his whole costume in the glass case and all that.
Yeah.
So that kind of confirms that is like the mask and costume being worn throughout the film is Billy's robe and mask. How do you feel like, how do you take that? I had a weird take on that, but I want to hear what you guys have to say first.
Well, I'll say it like this. I've had so many thoughts about it, man, all over the place. Cause it's like, where are they going with this? Obviously there's that direct connection to Sam, so we already know that. But like, why? Why Billy? I mean, other than the fact that Sam is the daughter, and I don't know, man. I've just had so many random thoughts about what it could ultimately mean. If someone is utilizing Billy's mask and costume to somehow ensnare Sam, maybe to push her over the edge, or maybe some weird ass type of plot or something, you know what I mean? Like some
Yeah.
way to mess with her, mentally, and I don't know, man. What do you got cooking for that?
Dude, I kind of take it as like whoever this killer is like there's I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't know. I'm guessing here, but my guess is that they're wearing Billy Loomis's robe and costume, all that, because it's like I know your secret, Sam. It's like
Yes.
I know who you are, and they're targeting Sam specifically. Let's go back. I mean, yeah, and I put out a theory today talking about that a little bit. I almost think that Sam is going to get the. Like at the, that one shot in the trailer where she's looking at the mask and all that, and it's like she's got bloody hands, and I feel like that's the last shots of the movie. I think
I
that's
do too.
I think that's the very, very end of it. After everything has gone and all that, she's covered in blood. She has the mask, and I think that she's going to go after somebody that might have gotten away as our new Ghostface killer in 7.
I do too.
I'm so down for that. But they have to do it right. They have to do it right, or I think it's gonna fall flat. But I'm here for it. I'm here for that kind of experimentation. My big thing is I don't want them to just be like, well, Sam has a mental illness, so she's crazy. I just don't care for that. I think horror has a bad history of using that as a cop out. And I mentioned that in my video. I was like, don't do that. Do something in 6 though to ignite that craziness and push her over the edge, which killing Tara I think would be the best way to do that.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I've said, I know, right?
I know. Yeah. I know. Dude.
Well, one thing that I've said too is that, is yes, I think that's going to be at the end of the movie. It's going to be something that kind of pushes her off into that void, so to speak. But it's not going to make her like, oh, now I'm evil and now I'm going to kill people. I think it's going to be something, and I've referenced this in some of my videos. I think it's going to be something that's more similar to like, well, at least this is what I'd want, and I think it'd be much more interesting. Something similar to like Norman Bates, where her mental stability is just so fractured that it's almost like she's separate entities, because when Norman was mother, the Norman side of his psyche had no clue what was going on. He just blacked out. And obviously when a kill would happen and he would revert back to Norman, oh my God, mother, blood, so I think that, and I'm not saying, okay, let's just, bite off of Norman. But I'm just saying it's an interesting way to have her character be able to be both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very similar to like Norman in Psycho 2. So her whole mantra would be perhaps being Ghostface for justified revenge. But yet, because of her mental instability, she just goes too far over in that void, and she's piggybacking back and forth. I think that would be a lot more interesting, and we've never seen that for Ghostface.
And to go off of that real quick, what I will say is I think she'll be killing like innocent people trying to get to this person or whatever. But once again, like you said, I think she thinks it's justified in her mind because she's trying to seek vengeance for her sister's death. And me personally, I want to see that movie. Like, I want to see that movie so bad. Like, the more I talk about it, I'm like, that's nuts. That's insane. I don't know. I really would love to. If they go that direction, I'll lose my mind. Like, my head will explode in the theater Thursday night. So,
Well, let me just jump on that. And this is unfortunately after this, guys. I'm gonna have to run. But I'll end with this. Is that would be, and Wayne brought it up in the chat, which I thought was an interesting way to think about it. Is what if she becomes the killer, and it gives into Ghostface, not because she's mentally ill or has an illness, but that she desires it as her heritage. Her grandmother was a killer. Her father was a killer. She she basically is saying, I'm going to give in and be who I am by my own DNA, like my own heritage of my family, third generation, basically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you mix a little mental illness in there, of course, that could push her over the edge there to do it, but make it more about that than than hallucinations or whatever. Make it more about a conscious choice. I'm
Yeah.
going to do that because of who I am. I don't know. It's just interesting to think about, but I love that. I love the cliffhanger idea, and of course, for me, I'm hoping it's Stu Macher that she's going after at the end of the day. That we'll have to wait and see about. But even if it's not, I won't go back to the Stu train. But either way with that, the cliffhanger I think is a cool idea. She finds that mask, and she knows someone else is still a part of this. They didn't catch the actual full killers, and I would be down for that. And she's basically like she's looking at like that picture, like, okay, it's my job. I'm gonna finish this now, and then we get ready for. I'd even be happy if they did it like to be continued kind of thing. Would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then we go to 7. But guys, I'm gonna run. I love you both. So good to see you, and I love all you guys out there. Appreciate y'all so much, and I'll be in touch soon. So you guys have a great rest of the stream.
All right,
Heck
bro.
yeah, man.
All right,
get some rest and feel better, dude.
I sure will. Good night, guys.
See you. All right, catch you later, man.
Adios.
And real quick too, we have a super chat that had come in. Sorry, I didn't get this a little bit sooner from Try Hard. $5 super chat. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. And saying if they bring back Stu, have them go dig up Stu's body at the graveyard to find no body in the coffin. Just an OG Ghostface mask in there. Ooh, whoa. Now wow, man, that'd be kind of crazy. It's similar to what they did with John Kramer in Saw. They actually dig up the grave, or Jason, obviously. I don't know, man. I don't know if they do that.
They're gonna stick a metal pole in his chest. Lightning's gonna hit it. He's gonna come back. Zombie Stu.
Dude, if that were to ever happen, which it wouldn't, but let's just say that happened, I literally would stand up, throw my wonderful bucket of popcorn right on the ground, and march the hell out of the theater. That's what I would do. I'd be like, it's over. I'm getting the F out of here.
That's when that is jumping the shark, in my opinion. That's when we get to jumping the shark territory.
Dude, that is jumping the universe.
Yeah,
that's what that is. There's nowhere else to jump. That'd be crazy. But Try Hard, thank you so much for the super chat, man. We really, really appreciate it. No doubt.
I don't know. Like, to me, Try Hard. Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate that. To me, though, like I think like a lot of the Stu stuff, I feel like it comes from a place where some people just haven't been happy with the killers in a lot of the sequels. I don't know. I really like the killers in the last 2 films, especially. I don't know how you feel about that, but like me personally, I'm like I don't know if there's like besides maybe Charlie. Like Charlie's pretty whatever, but I don't think there's a killer. And like listen, Debbie Salt, I'll put my personal things aside. I think, yeah, whatever. She's serviceable. I don't know. How do you feel like these, so the killers in the sequels are just diminishing returns, or like, do you feel like they are in some ways exceed Billy and Stu?
Well, I think that I definitely, this, and I've said this many times. I think Jill is a fantastic Ghostface. I mean, and I haven't done that video yet, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about it at some point as a group too. But Jill is up there for me, like in the listing of Ghostface killers. I mean, she is really up there. I mean, obviously Billy is fantastic. Roman, Mickey, they're some of my favorites. But Jill is literally shoulder to shoulder with them. I've loved Jill ever since that reveal, and that's what I was about to say. I think the reveal and the motive have a part to play in the Ghostface killer as well, because the thing about Billy and Stu is that the reveal was just so good. It just was so good. And maybe that's also why I love Jill so much, because I really loved that reveal as well. And I agree with you with Charlie. I mean, I hate to say it, but sorry, Charlie. But like with Richie and Amber, I think that the reveal was good, and I will say this, and tell me what you think as well. But they're growing on me, and especially Amber. Amber is I don't know what it is, because I know sometimes when we've all talked about it, and obviously Steven already left, but if he was here, he'd get a laugh out of this too. He has one of those pictures of Amber when she kind of had that face, and he'll throw it up every once in a while for fun. And so we've made fun a little bit, and people talk about she's only 3'5" and all that type of stuff, whatever. But when she pulled out that gun on Liv, that was a moment, man. That it kind of was like, okay, and and then I love that scene with her, Gail, and Sydney, where she was like, wait, no, 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 I'm just a kid. I was radicalized. I wanted to be a part of something, and I think Amber has really grown on me. So, I don't know where I was going with all that, but I see what you mean as far as some people, and especially hardcore fans, might see diminishing returns with the Ghostface killers. Me personally, I can enjoy the other Ghostface killers for what they are, and especially Jill being one of my favorites. So that for me, anyways, that doesn't have too much weight as far as my desire to either see or not see Stu return.
Okay. That's I got you. I feel you on that. Last night we were talking about like how do we rank the franchise now after talking about Scream 4 over on Gory B's page.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I flipped this recently. I'm putting 5 above 4 now. And I think that Jill is ultimately a better killer than both Richard.
I love that.
Richard. Richard Kirsch. But I can't believe I just said that. I can't even get through this. I really like Jill better than both Richie and Amber, but I think the thing that I realize about Richie and Amber in the third act is that if it wasn't for their incredible performances, that third act's not much to write home about. It's pretty much almost a carbon copy of the original with just that part of it's a diminishing return in my opinion. But their performances are so good. There's such a good duo as a killer where I feel like Jill and Charlie are not. Yes. That's what elevates that third act to me. That's why I really like that. I do like the third act of 4 better, but they save that because they're such good killers in my mind. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I think on their own, I don't think they're better than Jill. But as a duo, as a group, I think they're maybe my favorite sequel group easily.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that there's a lot more to just the reveal or who it is. You know what I mean? I think it's also like, what's the dynamic between these characters? What's their motivation? How do they end up handling things in the third act after they're revealed? There's a lot more to it than Carrie's making fun of me. I think there's a lot more to it than just the reveal, and that's why I have really come to appreciate the sequels. And basically, if there's a new Scream movie, I'm there day one, even if it comes off as I don't know, like I'm here for it. I'll stick it out, even if there's something whack about it. I'm gonna check it out for that reason.
Right. Yeah. The thing about these movies, there's such a draw. You know what I'm saying? Like even with 6, there are so many questions, and for us as content creators and all of the folks in the community who they've got wonderful thoughts and theories and ideas as well. As much as we're coming up with all these conversations and discussions and the back and forth, there's still so much to experience. There's still so many questions. There's so much anticipation. How is it going to play out? Will it do this? Will it do that? And I think that's for me, that's one of the big draws to these movies. And my favorite movies, and I've loved them all, but my favorite ones have had those experiences be so amazing. Whether it's the characters, the chemistry, the ending, the whatever. Speaking of which, when you talked about how reveal and how the third act plays, one thing that was interesting with 3, because we haven't piggybacked to 3 yet, is the Roman reveal. There's a complexity to that for me as a fan, because it kind of came out of left field, and it was kind of like, oh, okay, all right, and I'm kind of digging this new backstory that's happening with him as a character. But the third act, or that final confrontation, once they're at Milton's, it's some great stuff, for me as a fan watching it, because there's a lot of things going on. You got Gail and Dewey there. You got this chick Angelina that was sus for so much of the movie, and it's like, okay, whoa, she got killed. Wow, wait a minute, why is her body getting dragged away? And it's like bam, bam, bam. So much is going on, and of course, Nev is right in the middle of it. So, Roman is a good example how, for me anyways, as a fan, how the third act in that confrontation elevates the Ghostface killer. And I like Roman as a killer, but I definitely know that part of that love is because that final act, that finale is just lit for me. It's just awesome.
That's the best part that's the best part of 3, is that third act at the mansion or whatever. It's so it's good. It's really good. We've talked about a few times how some things just don't make any sense unless there's a second killer, which is really funny.
Right.
But that's also kind of intentional, which I think is great.
Right.
I don't know, man. I actually really I really agree. I think even Roman, who does have is a bit of a lackluster character, still has a good reveal, still has a good the motivation saves it. You know what I mean? Like it's like he's like a whatever character. He's the director of the new Stab movie. He's he's not even really that big in the film until the third act. But it's the motivation, it's the way that it's the conversation between him and Sydney too in that third act when they're in that little room together.
Yeah,
it's so well done. That saves the character for me. I like Roman even more because of his performance at the end. And if you didn't have that, I would have been like, this is the worst killer in the franchise, maybe. But he saves it,
He does.
It's so shocking. The reveals, whatever, but the everything else that comes after it is wonderful to me.
Yeah. And again, a lot of credit to Roger, in that scene too, because I just love so much about that whole confrontation, now you have to deal with me and with Mother. And I'm like, oh man, I'm getting those psycho vibes, and stuff too, and it's just cool, man. But there's a lot that goes into this whole idea of favorite Ghostface killers. It really, really is. It's interesting. It's really interesting. It's a legacy, man. It's a legacy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, my opinion's constantly changing on it, on like every facet of these movies. It's like it's constantly going all over the place because of that. You catch something like Scream 2. I used to hate the Cotton Weary stuff. It's maybe my favorite part of the movie now. Like the more I watch it, I'm like, actually, this is really fucking awesome. That's really cool how they set shit up with that. But sorry, very long winded.
No. Oh, not at all. New Horror Squad had come into the chat saying, "Hey guys, glad I could make it. Excited to see the scenes involving Sam, Tara, and Gail. Looks like it could be interesting." Yes. I like I said, it's just so much that can happen. I'm so excited. I'm so excited also just to see this interaction between Sam and Tara. How that is going to play out, and I'm hoping. We haven't really gotten a lot of insider scoop on it, but I'm just really hoping that this dynamic between the two of them is going to be some great scenes, like you said, like the cotton scene in 2, just different moments throughout the franchise where you have two characters, whether they're alone or with other characters, and they just have some wonderful back and forth. And I really hope that we get a lot of that with the sisters, because I mean they're literally the heart of this thing right now. I mean, and the whole idea, it'd just be cool to see them have great moments.
I totally agree, dude. Like, one of my favorite scenes in 5 is that hospital room scene or whatever, where Sam like just kind of spills the beans to Tara and they have that whole conversation. It's a great little bout of drama. I'm excited to see more of that, but also them getting along as sisters together at the start of this thing moving forward, which is going to be nice to see. They're both incredibly talented actresses. They both give like just great performances in that first one. I think they're going to be even better here, especially with Jenna Ortega not being in a bed the whole time.
Right?
You know what I mean? She's going to be able to actually do something in this movie. It's going to be great. Right? It's awesome. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, and looks like we have a knock on the door, and let's see who this person is. They coming into the tail end of this wonderful stream. Hey, what's up? Hey.
Yo,
gotta keep the streak alive.
Gotta keep the streak alive.
He's 49 minutes late. Gotta keep the streak alive.
I know. He comes in at the last moment. I'm here.
The streak isn't about being on time. The streak is about never missing a stream. So
Hey, wasn't there that one time when then you recorded the video, like the quick little like, hey, you know,
and I sent it to you.
Yes.
Because when I was gonna go get my teeth fixed, they were gonna put me under, and so like I made that video and I sent it to you.
Oh my god!
You might need to save that.
I might need to. Yeah, I still got it, man. I still got
Just in
it.
case he can't make it, we'll have to play it at some point.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny.
I gotta go back to the dentist tomorrow. So.
Oh man, you poor guy. Lisa's talking about Richard having the British accent. You gotta love it.
Yeah, yes. Richard is the British version of Richie.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, when he wants to get all proper. Carrie coming in with a $5 super chat saying Richard Jake sounds like Richie's mother. I love you, Jake.
Richard's mother.
Richard's
yes.
Dude. Could you imagine if they would never do that? But it's just so funny to like play it in your mind, you know. Richard's mother.
It's
Now-
Timothy Oliphant comes out too and says it in an English accent.
God. Right.
Richard's mother, and then he just leaves. He just
And then he just leaves. He just walks right across the screen. That's it. Nothing else.
Sounds like
almost
something that would
can't be
happen.
bad.
That sounds like something that would happen in Scary Movie.
Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
They need to redo Scary Movie. They need to
I
make it good.
know. They missed an
Really-
opportunity.
Yeah, with Scream 5, Scream
Could have
5 out and
seen-
stuff, they should make another like Scary Movie around Scream. That's like primarily Scream, because that was still the best one. Like,
Yeah.
that
Oh, no
versus-
doubt.
That completely still to this day ruins Scream for me. Every time I watch
For a lot of
Scream,
people.
there are scenes that come on and I just immediately start laughing, and there are times that I shouldn't be laughing.
Right.
But it's just like I'm thinking of Doofy, or I'm thinking
Yes.
the ice cream
Yeah.
when he's like
Gil's
licking it.
Clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, my finger.
Come on, let's go.
Oh my. Let's go. Let's go.
Go.
Oh my
What's
god.
that smell? My ass. I still crack up every time that scene happens. To
I
this day, I've probably
know.
seen
Oh
that
my
scene a million times. It's just his facial expressions and the guy's reaction, like, "Oh, what the?" It's just brilliant.
Oh my god. If they did that scene with Timothy, you know, it was like Richard's mother, and then he just walks across the screen, you could get like Marlon Wayans be like, hey man, get that guy some tea and biscuits, you know.
Bring him back.
Oh my god.
Oh, man. Oh god. Okay. We're all over the place. Our good friend Eric from the Bearded Entertainment coming in with $5 super chat saying, Jake, you mean your favorite part of Scream 2 isn't
You're so right, man. What was I thinking? What was going through my head when I said that earlier? You're so right.
You know, can I just say something? And Eric, thank you so much. Jake, you have literally become like the flag bearer for Mrs. Loomis. I mean, like seriously, this is just too funny.
Dude, I was on Gory B's stream last night, and she was like making fun of me for not liking Mrs. Loomis. I'm like, oh my god, it's just a thing now. It's like it's literally just a thing. I gotta commit to it at this point.
Your new name is the guy that you're not even known for KillJoy Jake. You're just known as the guy that's gonna be your legacy.
That's my
Your legacy.
On your tombstone when you die, it'll say
It's gonna say not Billy's mother.
Yeah, it's gonna say like, you know, son, father, wonderful man, hates Mrs. Loomis.
I'm gonna have Laurie Metcalf on a stream one day. I'm gonna make it happen.
Oh my god,
that would be legendary. I mean, legendary. I think.
Would that be? That would be so funny to all of us and all of the viewers who have been on this journey with you. That would be like the joke makes itself. It really does.
Yeah, but would you be able to tell her to her face?
Right.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm an honest guy. I'll be like, listen, like I'm just curious. What was like what was going on? What was going on there? No, she's a great actress though. Like in no way do I dislike her.
Yes.
But like I don't know. I think it's a little Here's my honest to God take on it. I feel like she's trying to do Billy and Stu at the same time in a lot of ways.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Because like she does have like this a similar like facial structure to Billy,
Yeah.
you know, and there's you feel some of that, but then she's trying to do the over the topness to it, and I think that's like, I don't know, I feel like that comes from the direction, if that makes sense. Like I feel like she was directed to be more over the top that way, you know. And I think it flows with the theme of the film, like. Sequels have got to amp it up. You know, it's motivated. Like, I don't think it's like, it doesn't feel like it's out of left field. It's just, it's too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's justified. I get why they made that decision, but to me, it's too much. It's like, just back off a teeny tiny bit, and I think it would be perfect.
Right. And also, thank you, Tori, for reminding people, please hit the like button. If you have not, that would be a wonderful thing. We would really appreciate it if you're enjoying the conversation and enjoying the community. Yes. Let's see. Larissa's in the chat saying, hey, Nate. Hey, Jake. Just catching up on your live. Hope you're well. Love Jill, an epic killer. Guys, with the new Gale focus trailer, what do you think Gale's fate? And do you think her shrine part is at the end? Ooh. Well, those are good questions. Jake, you want to start with that, and then fate?
Fate, I'll let you go first. You just hopped on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I actually just finished, just finished, but earlier today, before I went to the dentist, I filmed. I got to post it about that scene where we see Gale getting ready to be killed. I don't buy it. I don't think that I definitely think she could die. We don't really see her in the third act shots that we have, or at least to my knowledge, I don't believe it. So I don't think I've seen all the TV spots, but I've seen enough to where we see like Chad at some point, Kirby at some point, we see Gil, or we see Sam and Tara. So, you know, that's pretty interesting, but I don't think that that's the end of the movie, because another thought is like, well, maybe that's the cliffhanger, right? Maybe it's like left on like her about to die, and it's like, oh no, she's about to die, and then the movie cuts. Like that could be something. The reason I don't think that that's the case is because Gale says when she's on the phone, you're like the 10th person to try this. And that person would be, this movie's killer would be the 10th person to try it. So granted, that could just be a figure of speech where it's just like, you know, you're like the 10th, umpteenth person to try this, right? But I think very likely two things happen. I think either A, she gets it, somebody comes in and saves her. You know, maybe the guy, the assistant or boyfriend or whatever he is, maybe he's still alive and kind of like, you know, last hurrah so she can escape. And then we have that one shot where it appears like she's outside. So maybe that's what happens. Like he bumps her, or Gil does some like ninja move, like uses the force, gets him off, and then is able to run outside and get away. Those are my two guesses, but she looks dead to rights there. Like she looks like she's done, but like it's also been like in every Scream movie, she has that moment where she's being choked out, or she's about to be stabbed or something on the ground on her back. Like it's like the same shot. So my guess is that she'll be fine. At least that part. I really do kind of lean towards she dies. I really do think she's going to die and kind of be, no, I mean, she's executive producer now, so she probably has more control. She could kind of fall back into that executive producer role in future installments also. So she can just kind of focus on, you know, Shining Vale and all the other projects she has, and then just kind of be the executive producer on these Scream films going forward and kind of like give her insight on stuff. You know, because she's the last of the OGs. So she knows this franchise better than anybody. And then there you go. That could be that. And then she kind of just, you know, dies. But I don't know. And that could also be the way you set up Scream 7, because we know we're getting a Scream 7. How else do you get Sydney back? Assuming she comes back, unless you kill Gale. Because the only reason she came back last time was because Dewey died. Granted, you could go and maybe have Ghostface target her, but don't you think she'd be like prepared for that? Don't you think? I'd imagine like her and Kincaid have like booby traps all over their house. Like they have like a SWAT team in the closet, like just ready to go, ready to come out.
Right.
You know, like I don't think she's just like happy-go-lucky living her life when Ghostface every like 5 years comes and tries to kill her. Like especially when she has kids now and stuff. So my guess is that you know, she's well prepared for something like that. So but I don't know, we'll see. It'll be interesting. But Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, like I think I agree with you, but at the same time, I'm like I go back to like the Scream 4 marketing, very few and far between, but it was there, believe it or not. There was one trailer I remember where it specifically teases like Gale dying in the barn, and of course that didn't happen.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that movie feels very safe for the legacy characters specifically. Now I don't know. Now I don't know. Like they killed Dewey. Now in this movie, are they going to kill Gale? Will they kill her off halfway through the movie? Tyler, what do you got?
I want to add something to what you just said real quick, and then you keep going. Is Scream 4. So there was a scene in one of the trailers of Gale that wasn't in the movie with the barn scene. I don't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head, but it showed her like getting ready to die, and that scene wasn't in the movie. Like
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
What we got
Yeah, I think I saw that too.
we got the shoulder, we got the stab in the shoulder. I wish I remembered I just remembered the scene because I remember that being like a thing. People were like,
It's like
that
one of the
wasn't in
last shots. Yeah, it was like one of the last shots of the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's like her about to get stabbed or something. Scream
Right.
4, you know?
Scream
Yeah,
4, yeah.
yeah, and instead, but it wasn't. She ends up getting stabbed in the shoulder in Scream 4, but in the trailer, she was getting stabbed elsewhere. It was like in the forehead or in the face or something like that. And yeah, there was like an entire scene of Gale about to be killed in Scream 4 that wasn't actually in the movie. But anyway, I just wanted to add that before I forgot while you talked to your next point. Sorry.
Well, and that's part of why I'm really on the fence here, because I'm like, are they doing that again? With this trailer,
Right.
are they or no? Are we witnessing the prelude to her death? I like.
Right.
Listen, if this was Wes Craven again doing this movie, I would totally agree with you. You know what I mean? But I just don't know what we're getting into with this movie, so I'm just not 100%. But I definitely lean towards she lives through this scene and then maybe dies later on. But I don't know.
Well, the thing of it is that all bets are off, ever since that Scream 5 trailer. It's like, so and I said it famously is like, if I see something in the trailer that looks like it's going to happen, I got to almost assume that it's quite possible it's really going to happen, So I don't want her to die. I really don't. But at the same time, kind of like what you guys have said and what you said, Fate, a lot of things point to that as a strong possibility, and I think there's two sides of it. Story-wise, it could work very well. And in real life with Courtney's, her career and so forth, it could work well in a lot of ways. But I still, just as from the character perspective of the franchise, I still would hate to see that. We just have these OG characters dying off in every movie. It's just like, what? But I don't know. It could happen. I hope it doesn't, though. I really, really hope it doesn't. I really, really hope it doesn't.
I think it comes down to Courtney, though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
What does she want? You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
Look, Wes Craven can tell her no. Radio Silence can't. You know what I mean? Like Wes Craven had that relationship with her where he could say, "Hey, we need you," and I need you. But Radio Silence, if she's like, "Hey, I wanted to die in 4. I was very public and open about that. I gave you 2 more movies. It's time for me to go." Like, what does the studio say? Like, what does Radio Silence? What did the director say? Like, no. Like, okay, well, then I just won't be in the movie. Like, that might have even been a contingent for her to sign on. Like, this is the last movie I'm going to give you. And I still always resort back to, does she actually sign on if the Nev stuff happened earlier? Because she was already signed on, contractually obligated. Like, she can't just be like, well, I'm not going to do this anymore because you did what you did to Nev. She was the first one to sign on. So that might have been why. She might have been like, I don't want to do another one, but hey, we'll kill you in this movie. All right, fine, sign me up. Like, let's give me a proper ending. It's just a thought. But anyway, sorry, Knight.
No, it's okay. Let's see. Brandon has a comment real quick. It was interesting. So my theory is that the reveal may be someone related to Stu. If we're keeping it with a parent, I would say it has to be the parent of Stu or even Vince's father. Oh, well, Vince gets some light finally. What do you?
I could say it makes sense. It makes sense. Vince is a mocker, right?
That's right.
Leslie Mocker. You know, my guess, if I had to make a guess, I would say that the killers are related to somebody, whether it's Stu or somebody else. I hope not. I don't want that to be the case. I really don't, like, because it's just going backwards. You know, like, it's like, how many of these people are the bloodlines of how many, how many people are just like running around, and now you're in New York. It's like these people really followed you all the way to New York and hatched this master plan. Like, how did they know you were going to that college at that time? And like, you know what I mean? If they were already there, like, so what? It was just a coincidence. Like, that's a strange coincidence. Like,
Right.
I just think that there's gonna be, and I get it. It's a movie. It's movie logic. You're gonna have just things that are just, you're just like, that's stupid. But I don't know. I feel like everything that they've said, they've told us, like, this is gonna be different, this is gonna be this is gonna be that, and it's like, if you just do Stu's brother or Stu's cousin or something like that, or brother-in-law, like, what if it's Leslie Mocker, like you said, Vince's father, Leslie Mocker's husband?
How is that any different?
Yeah,
Right.
it's not any different. You just gender swapped. Like, that's all you did. You just basically gave a Scream 2. You just gender swapped. Like, it's just, I don't, like, it's like, why? For what? You really could. It's just lazy to me. That's my only problem. It's just like, you really couldn't have came up with something else.
And what happened to, like, just killers who killed to kill? You know what I mean? Like,
that, just want to kill. What happened to good old fashioned killing?
What happened to good old fashioned murder? You know, that's what I'm asking for. I don't know, man. I'm just like, what? I just want to see. I feel like that's more. I've seen people say, like, oh, whenever there's a murder or a kidnapping or something, it's 9 times out of 10 is someone related to you. Okay, but like, if I'm an audience member watching a movie and and I'm gonna be, you're trying to scare the audience, you got to make it so that the killer could go after literally anyone. That is the scariest way to write a movie villain specifically. Like Fate, we talk about the strangers all the time.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm like,
my favorite line in horror history.
Dude, apply that to a Scream movie, you could make the scariest Scream movie. If you just apply those types of killers to a movie like this, it would be killer.
I love Mickey. That's one of the reasons I love Mickey so much. Is like,
yes,
he was psychotic. Like, he was
selfish. He was like, he was in it for him. Yeah,
he was in it for him. Yes. He was killing people earlier. Like, it wasn't. He didn't care about Sydney. He didn't care about this. He just had an opportunity. This girl's gonna pay for me to go and murder all these people and do all that. Like, he didn't care. It wasn't about that. It was about, like, him just being a killer. Like Jake said, he was selfish. I love it. Like, let's get back to that. Like, I love the idea of, like, a murder for, like, say, Josh Segura's character, right? Like, why can't he just be some psychopath that they just, went and got, and he's just killing people for the sake of it? Like, like I said, have Christopher Stone, Henry Czerny's character, have him be the therapist that's been studying serial killers and is just falling down the rabbit hole and obsessed with Stab, and it's like, well, why is he going and targeting Sam? Because she's Billy's daughter, right? Like, what better trophy to put in your shrine than the daughter of Billy Loomis, right? Like, or have some, like, her whatever finger or something, right? Like, there you go. Now you have that. And then, like, have Josh Segura either just be like the son or just like a hired killer, right? Like, he's just some tactical military guy that, like, he just loved to kill people, and he couldn't
motivated by money. Yeah.
And Henry Czerny's like, I'm the rich, successful therapist that has this shrine. Like, I'll give you, $100,000 to kill all these people. I'll give you $1 million to kill all these people. And he's like, all right, like, sure.
Yeah.
On the ghost face mask, and he's like, let's go. Let's do this. And he just starts taking them out. And it's like, why are you killing us? And it's like, why not? I'm about to be a millionaire. Like, it's just crazy. Like, what's wrong with crazy? You can't explain crazy. So just get back to crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's my whole thing.
I agree. Absolutely. I definitely agree. And Carrie says, Jake, am I allowed to give you a 30-minute warning for your stream now?
Yeah,
I'm not going to let you live that one down.
Well, Carrie, I'm going on at 7:35, so you're a little early. No, I'm so messing, Carrie. I'm so messing with you. It's 7:05. 7:05 is the stream.
That's so funny.
Gentlemen, unfortunately, I think we gotta wrap the stream up because you boys gotta prepare. We're doing a big old nasty stream tonight, ranking all 9 of the Ghostface killers. So it's
nice. Very, very cool. All right, guys. Well, definitely for you guys that have joined us in the live chat, we appreciate you guys so much. Leave us comments. You guys had a lot of great comments and conversations here. Leave us some comments. Keep the discussion going with all of us in this community. Don't forget to hit the like button if you could, because that would definitely help us out. We'd really, really appreciate it. And check out Jake coming up right not at 7:35, but at 7:05.
Yes, yeah.
I'll be on later at 8 as well. And Fate, are you going to be on later on, or are you just going to be recuperating?
No, I'll probably just be cool. I gotta get some videos up and stuff, but yeah, I gotta, yeah, nothing major.
Okay, sounds good. Well, anyways, for the rest of you guys, catch you guys soon. And anyways, the collective has spoken. Peace out.